Uh, in this video, let us discuss exceptions to Mendel's monohybrid cross or one gene interaction, one gene inheritance. We all know a monohybrid cross F2 phenotypic ratio is 3:1. F2 genotypic ratio is 1:2:1. In the post-Mendelian experiments, some scientists they found we are not getting these ratios. And those are the things I am going to discuss. One is incomplete dominance. Incomplete dominance. What is this incomplete dominance? The F1 phenotype is intermediate between dominant and recessive. It's not totally dominant, it's not totally recessive, it is in between the dominant character and the recessive character. So the F1 hybrid, F1 phenotype is intermediate between the dominant and recessive phenotypes. So for example, flower color in Snapdragon. Snapdragon, that is also commonly called as a dog flower. The scientific name is Antirrhinum majus. Antirrhinum majus. In this dog flower, Antirrhinum majus, if we consider flower color, red is dominant, white is recessive. Red is dominant, white is recessive. Capital R, red flowers, you get it. Small r, white flowers, you get it. When you made a cross between homozygous red flowers with white flowers, the gametes are capital R, small r, F1 capital R, small r. These capital R, small r, F1 hybrids, they show pink color, pink flowers are obtained, not the red flowers. Actually, according to the law of dominance, F1 must resemble the dominant parent, but it is not resembling the dominant parent. In between the dominant and recessive, the flowers are pink in color. On selfing, when you are making a cross, a pink flower with a pink flower, you are getting F2. Capital R, small r is crossed with capital R, small r. A pink flower is crossed with a pink flower. Pink, pink. And in the F2, you are getting capital R, red flowers. Capital R, small r, pink flowers. Capital R, small r, pink flowers. Small r, white flowers. Here the point is, what is the phenotypic ratio? The phenotypic ratio is 1 red, 2 pink, 1 white flowers, 1:2:1. What is the genotypic ratio? The genotypic ratio is also 1:2:1. Normally, according to the law of dominance, F2, monohybrid cross F2, phenotypic ratio 3:1. Here it is 1:2:1. Genotypic ratio is 1:2:1. Normal dominance, of course, here genotypic ratio is also 1:2:1. So, in incomplete dominance, both the phenotype and genotype of F2 is 1:2:1. There are two more examples you can quote. Mirabilis jalapa. Mirabilis jalapa is commonly called as a 4 o'clock plant. In this Mirabilis jalapa also, red flowers are dominant over white flowers, and you got pink flowers, just like the snapdragon. And one more example, Andalusian falls. Here in the Andalusian falls, the feather color, black is dominant over white. Black feather colors are dominant over white. Capital B, black. Small b, white. And in the F1, you got blue flowers. Capital B, small b, blue flowers. So it is not black, it is not white, in between you got blue. That is incomplete dominance. On selfing, you got black, blue, white in 1:2:1. The phenotypic ratio, the genotypic ratio, here in the F2, 1:2:1. Next, codominance. Codominance. In F1 hybrid, both alleles express themselves equally, and there is no mixing of the effect of both alleles. So here what is happening, when you are crossing to homozygous parents, F1 expression of both the alleles happen. In F1 hybrid, both the alleles express themselves equally, and there is no mixing of the effect of both alleles. Or simply you can just remember, hybrid progeny resemble both the parents. Hybrid progeny resemble both the parents. The best example, blood groups. In the case of blood groups, A blood group, B blood group if you take. When you are making a cross, A blood group and B blood group persons, when the mating happens, you got in the F1, AB blood group. The F1 hybrid, they show AB blood group. It is not A, it is not B, now you got AB. On selfing, F1 on selfing, you'll get the F2. In the F2, you got A blood group, AB blood groups, B blood group. IA, A blood group. IA, IB, that is AB blood group. IA, IB, that is AB blood group. IB, that is B blood group. The ratio is 1:2:1. So here also you got both the phenotypic and the genotypic ratios 1:2:1. There is one more very good example in the syllabus, sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia. In this case, sickle cell anemia, when you are taking the parents in heterozygous state, HbA, normal blood. The RBC are circular in their outline. HbS, sickle shape. So, dangerous. HbA, HbS. HbA, HbS in the heterozygous state, both are expressing, but of course, there is no problem to the person and they are said to be carriers. They're said to be carriers. Now if you see a carrier male and a carrier female, in this case, both the parents personally they are safe, but you see the progeny HBA, HBS, they are the alleles, HBA, HBS, and definitely HBS, HBS dangerous. They cannot survive. Sickle cell anemia will affect. So these are the two basically good examples for codominance. The codominance in F2, both the phenotype and the genotype ratios are 1:2:1. Remember, incomplete dominance, codominance. Incomplete dominance, codominance, in both the cases, F2, the phenotype and the genotype ratios are same, that is 1:2:1. Multiple allelism. You all know one point, every gene has two alleles. Every gene has two alleles. Say for example, you take plant height, tall, dwarf, capital T, small t. Seed shape, round, wrinkled, capital R, small r. So generally, a gene will have two alleles. Suppose if a gene is having more than two alleles, that is called multiple allelism. That is called as multiple allelism. The best example is blood groups. Blood groups alleles are three alleles: A, B, O. A, B, O. There are three alleles are present. Coming to the phenotypes, maybe a person may have A blood group, or B blood group, or AB blood group, or O blood group. So how many phenotypes are there for the blood groups? 4 phenotypes. Coming to genotypes, there are 6 genotypes are present. IA, that is A blood group. IA, IO, that is also A blood group. IB, B blood group. IB, IO, that is also B blood group. IA, IB, AB blood group. IO, that is O blood group. So A is having 2 genotypes, B is having 2 genotypes, AB is having 1 genotype, O blood groups are having 1 genotype. So total 6 genotypes are present. We are having a formula. In order to calculate how many phenotypes, how many genotypes in multiple alleles, for the phenotypes calculation, n plus 1. How many phenotypes are present in blood groups? N plus 1, where n represents number of alleles. The 3 alleles are present: A, B, O. And how many phenotypes? N plus 1, 3 plus 1. The 3 plus 1, there are total 4 phenotypes are present. A blood group, B blood group, AB blood group, O blood group. And the genotypes calculation, the formula is n into n plus 1 by 2, where n is the number of alleles. Not only for blood groups, in the examination we may get some problems. In so and so case, so and so number of alleles are present, how many phenotypes are expected, how many genotypes are expected. For the calculation of phenotypes, n plus 1. For the calculation of genotypes, n into n plus 1 by 2. Not only the blood groups, other examples for multiple alleles. Other examples for multiple alleles. Coat color in rabbit, eye color in Drosophila, self-incompatibility in tobacco. So the coat color in rabbit, eye color in Drosophila, self-incompatibility in tobacco. In all these cases, they are having more number of alleles. One of the very important point in the multiple allelism, they are present in population. In a population, you can expect a multiple allelism, whereas in an individual, for every gene, only 2 alleles. So take for example, blood group. If you take, if your blood group is a blood group, IA or IO. That's all. If your blood group is AB blood group, IB. That's all. If your blood group is O blood group, IO. That's all. In an individual, for a gene, 2 alleles only. But multiple alleles are present in a population. That's the most important point you have to remember. And the formulas to calculate the phenotypes and the genotypes in multiple alleles. And this is the thing definitely you have to practice. What are the possible blood groups of the children? They may give you the parents, and you have to predict the blood groups of the children. I'll demonstrate 1 or 2 cases. You please work out all these cases. The parents are having, both are having A blood group. What are the chances of the getting A or other blood groups in the case of children? Say IO. Maybe IA, or maybe IO. The other parent is also having IO. So in this case, you can expect IO, So O. So the children may have A blood group or may have a O blood group. Let us see another case. One parent is having A blood group, the other parent is having B blood group. One parent is having A blood group, the other parent is having a B blood group. The second case I am doing IO. Now, if you see A blood group, IO, A blood group, IO, A blood group, IO. So, if it is, I need one more thing. If the blood groups are A and B, the blood groups are A and B. If it is A and B, IO, other parent IO. So IB, IO, 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 IO. So in this case, if the parents are having A and B, the children may have AB blood group, or A blood group, or B blood group, or O blood group. Let us see one more case, B and AB. If it is B blood group, IB, IO, let us take that direction. AB, IA, IB. IA, IB, 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 IA, IO, IB, IO. You can expect AB, B, A. So A, B, AB. B, A, AB can expect in the progeny. So this is a very important thing we have to remember. You have to do it on yourself. Please practice, complete all these cases. Next, pleiotropism. Pleiotropism. Generally, one gene controls one phenotypic character affected, but a single gene product, if it is controlling several phenotypes, a single gene product may produce several phenotypes depending upon its position. So depending upon its position, a single gene is responsible for several phenotypic effects. It's called pleiotropism. Pleiotropism. Example, phenylketonuria. Phenylketonuria, here what is happening? No? There is one gene. That gene is responsible for coding the enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase. Phenylalanine hydroxylase. But when that gene is undergoing mutations, on account of which the gene is coding for the phenylalanine hydroxylase, but mental retardation may happen, reduction in hair may happen, reduction in skin pigmentation happen. So a single gene is responsible for several phenotypic effects. The mental retardation, reduction in hair, reduction in skin pigmentation. So as it is regulating, controlling many phenotypic effects, so that is a pleiotropic gene. Drosophila. Drosophila, white eye mutation. Actually, in Drosophila we come across a red color, that is a dominant, white color, that is a recessive. But in the case of white eye color, some mutation happen. On account of that mutation, not only eye color is controlling, responsible for the depigmentation, many other parts of the body. Actually, as a gene, it has to control the eye color, but it is controlling the depigmentation in different parts of the body. So that is a pleiotropic effect. And one more important example, the starch synthesis in garden pea. The starch synthesis in garden pea. In the case of garden pea, if you take capital B gene is responsible for large starch grains. Small b, they are small starch grains. Capital B, large starch grains. Small b, small starchy grains. And when we are making a cross between these two, capital B, small b, in the F1 you are getting a capital B, small b. According to Mendel, there must be large starchy grains, but it is not like here. Here what happened? No, this is the size is intermediate. We already discussed in the dog flower, in the 4 o'clock plant. We are getting pink flowers. The red flower, white flower, we are getting pink flowers. Here, large starchy grains, small starchy grains, you got intermediate. This is a standing example for incomplete dominance. In the incomplete dominance, F2 ratio, whether it is a phenotype or genotype, 1:2, 2:1. Right. Now the other part, capital B, if it is there, capital B, if it is there, this is round seeds you get. The seed shape, round seeds. Small b, wrinkled seeds. The shape of the seeds will be wrinkled. And in the capital B small, in the F1, this is round seeds. That means it is accepting law of dominance. Here, 2 points you have to remember. It is an example for pleiotropism because the gene B is controlling starch synthesis as well as the shape of the seed. Starch synthesis and also the shape of the seed. For starch synthesis, it is showing an incomplete dominance in F2, 1:2, 2:1. For shape of the seed, it is showing a regular Mendelian dominance law 3:1. So for one aspect, it is showing 1:2, 2:1. For other aspect, it is giving a 3:1. Later I will discuss, but just remember one point. When I am studying both the characters, you must remember one is for complete dominance, one is for incomplete dominance. If I am studying at a time a dihybrid cross in the F2, I get 1:2, 2:1 for one character, 3:1 for another character. That's a point you have to remember. That I will explain later also. So this is pleiotropism. Okay. The next one is lethal genes. Lethal. Lethality, it means it is not safe. The plant or the organism may die. A lethal gene usually results in the death of an individual when present in homozygous condition. That's the most important point. Maybe there is a dominant gene or recessive gene. Maybe there is a dominant gene or recessive gene. A lethal gene definitely results the death of an individual when present in homozygous condition. Now let us see one example. Mouse body color. Mouse body color may be yellow or brown. Yellow is dominant over brown. Yellow, capital Y, or capital Y, small y. Brown, small y, small y. I tell you, if you take capital Y, small y genotype, capital Y, small y, that is definitely yellow only. This is also yellow only. you make a cross, capital Y, small y are the gametes, capital Y, small y are the gametes, capital Y, capital Y, capital Y, small y, capital Y, small y, small y, small y. Here, this is also homozygous, this is also homozygous. But this capital Y condition, that is lethal. That particular mouse cannot survive. So this is homologous condition, dominant, lethal. Underline this point, homozygous condition, that is a rule. Maybe that's dominant in some cases. Now let us see one more example. Snapdragon. Snapdragon we have studied for the incomplete dominance. The antenna images. The antenna images, Snapdragon, capital C, green plants with a good amount of chlorophyll. Capital C, small c, pale green or golden or aurea, somewhat yellowish green. Small c, white plants without any chlorophyll. Okay. Say for example, green plants, capital G, pale green, capital G, small g, white plants. Say. Now if you make a cross, capital G, small g, a pale green plants or golden color or aurea plants which are yellowish green plants. What are the gametes? Capital G, small g. What are the gametes? Capital G, small g. Capital G, small g. Capital G, small g. This one is pure green, healthy. Capital G, small g. They are aurea or golden, pale, yellowish. Small g cannot survive. Now, if you take both the things, here capital Y, homozygous dominant is lethal. In this case, capital small g, homozygous recessive. So there is one question. Lethal genes must be the dominant or recessive homozygous condition. Whether it is dominant or recessive. In some cases, dominant condition is homozygous. That condition is lethal. In some cases, the recessive gene condition is lethal. So this is now finally one point. It cannot survive. What is the ratio? Capital G, small g 2, capital G 1. Here the green plants and aurea plants 2:1, F2 ratio. Here what is the ratio? Capital Y, small y 2, small y 1, 2:1. So be careful in the examination, they may give you 2:1 or 1:2. That is lethal genes ratio.